Good morning to Dr. Lee. I am Muhammad Aiman Farhan, and my group from AM1103E will present about unemployment for India. Okay, first I'm gonna start off with introduction. Unemployment is a condition where someone have the potential to work and wants to work but cannot find a suitable job. The US Bureau of Labor Statistics or BLS has a more specific definition, which is people who do not have a job, have actively looking for a job in the past 4 weeks and are available for work. Unemployment matter has become a big worry all over the globe. More unemployed employees means less overall economic manufacture will take role than might have otherwise. Unemployment is a multinational occurrence. This is because it influences economic productivity of a country and social arrangement of society. So this is a little bit background for India's unemployment announced by the India Bureau of Statistics. In the past, from 2011 until 2018, India's unemployment rate averaged 4.8%, obtaining an unrivaled peak rate from 1983 until 2016 and a record low of 3.46% in December 2016 from 3.49% in 2015. Next, I'm going to talk about the cause of unemployment in India. The main reason causing unemployment in India is the application of capital-intensive skills of manufacturing. Capital-intensive skills refers to the technique in which larger amount of capital is comparatively used. In such a technique, the amount of capital used per unit of output is larger than what it is in case of labor-intensive technique. Smaller rate of profits, liberal depreciation allocation on capital investment granted in the taxation method of the nation, and relatively cheap capital tools imported from abroad. Secondly, more wages of job in the organized district relate to the efficiency under pressure from trade unions. And thirdly, fixed labor regulations also discourage the employment of work. Next cause is abandon of agriculture for producing employment chances. The public view has existed in the first 14-year strategy in India, including the conceptual models of development for complexity economies. For example, Lewis, Economic Development with Unlimited Supplies of Labor, stated that agriculture have been containing surplus work and it it was needed to extract this surplus work from agriculture and use them in the modern industrial district. Agriculture includes surplus work that can produce employment chances if carefully planned for its upgrade is made. For example, the observed proof stated that on an irrigated hectare of land, the amount of man-hours employed is almost double the number of unirrigated hectare. Next is ineffective economic planning is also one of the major source of unemployment in India. Problematically, there were no national plans to deal for the huge gap between labor supply, which is overflowing, and labor demand, which is lower. It is important that the supply and demand of labor be in balance to make sure that the people who crave for job can get it. Otherwise, many people will fight for one job. One of the factors causing ineffective economic planning in India is low growth rate in production. In many sectors, priority should have been given to the growth of agriculture in all the economic strategies, but it was not fulfilled. Capital-intensive industries in urban areas were given priority rather than small-scale industries in the rural areas. In agriculture, green revolution continues to be confined largely to wheat and rice crop. Lastly, we have increase in population growth of the country. These have been reasonable over the half-century. The country's total population consists of more than 1.3 billion people, right next to China's population. Plus, India's population is set to exceed China's population by the year 2024. Eventually, it will, furthermore, maybe become the most populous country for the entirety of the 21st century. As the country's economic development cannot maintain with population growth, this eventually steers to a larger amount of the country being unemployed. Next, I'm gonna pass the slide to Azri.
My name is Azrikong bin Muhammad Zulkifli, and we will discuss about the unemployment in India. For my part is theories. Okay, the first theories is high declining in business sales, which is for the point is when a business finds that they have a suffer large losses and capital to buy insufficient stock, the the employer will have to lay off some employees from all employees in the business because the employer may not be able to pay their salaries due to reduced sales and unprofitable. So the employer must improve their marketing strategies and evaluate business performance to increase sales revenue, and many employees will be needed to develop the business. Then for the second theories is financial crisis. In the financial crisis, asset prices saw a sharp decline in value. Businesses and consumers were unable to pay their debts, and financial institutions suffer from a lack of liquidity. Thus, business and consumers will experience problems in a financial management and huge losses for a business as well as consumer need to find additional work to cover all the burdens and debt face. So for the third one is COVID-19 crisis, and the point is the COVID-19 outbreak has a profound or significant impact on the economic sector across the country. At the beginning of the year, each country launched a movement control order, which is MCO, to reduce the spread of the pandemic. Not only that, it has a huge impact on businesses and companies because it has to be stopped or postponed to prioritize community safety. All employees under the company or businesses lost their jobs due to COVID-19 crisis. It also caused the biggest loss to economies across the country. So the last point is this disruption in supply chains. The point is COVID-19 pandemic has shocked the world and has caused the nationwide economy to plummet. As such, China is the largest and most famous supplier of goods worldwide. However, since the COVID-19 attack, supplies from abroad, or better known as imports nor export, has been disrupted. This is disruption to the process of essential goods to the community throughout the country. As a result, the community needs to buy local made goods, and the government strives to stabilize the economy by getting goods from the worldwide largest supplier.
Morning, my name is Shahril bin Asman from AM 1103E. Today I will explain
My
unemployment
name is
in
Shahril
other
bin
country.
Azmi.
The
Today I
country
will
I have
talk about cases of other country. The
cases
country
of
I
other
choose
country
is
for the
Indonesia.
point.
The
The
percentage in Indonesia surged to
surged to
7.0%
7.0%
within the third quarter
within
2020
2020
from
from
5.28% in the same
same
quarter
quarter
a year
a year
earlier.
earlier.
Amid
Amid
the
the
economic
economic
worsening caused by the coronavirus crisis,
coronavirus
the
crisis,
quantity of
the
unemployed
quantity of
persons surged
unemployed
by
person
2.66 million to
by
9.77 million. Indonesia open
2.77
unemployment rate
million
has surged to
to
its highest level since
9.77
2011,
million.
within the pandemic
Indonesia
inflicting
unemployment rate
some
has surged to highest
2.67
level
million
since
individuals to lose
2011 with
their job based on the
increasing some
statistic in Indonesia.
2.70 million
The
individual to lose
country
their job based on
unemployment rate
statistic
goes
in
to
Indonesia. The
7.0% in
unemployment
August,
rate rose to
1.84 percentage
7.0%.
point increase from
The
5.23% within the same month
1.24
last year.
increase
In
from
total, 9.77 million
5.23%
people were
month last
were unemployed in August, up by 37.61% year-on-year from August 2019.
Indonesia formally entered it one institution signed the ASEAN money crisis when the economy contractile once more within the third quarter. Southeast Asia largest
Next is
economy
Indonesia formally entered its own institution, signed the
on
1998
associate
ASEAN
analysis
money
in the third
crisis when the
quarter
economy
as
contracted
the majority
one more within the
domestic
third
product
quarter. Southeast Asia largest economy shrank
significant
3.49%
rise
on
rise
associate
in
analysis
2019
in the third quarter
cases.
as the
Suyanto
majority
said
gross
the
domestic
pandemic
product
also triggered
element fell amid
an increase
the
in
persistent rise in
informal
COVID-19
fall
cases.
in
Suyanto said the pandemic
fall
also triggered an
informal
increase
employees.
in
The
informal
number
employers
of
and
informal
a
employees
fall
from the
in
country
formal employers.
went
The number of
from
informal employees from the
28.45
country
million strong workforce has inflated
128.45
by
million strong workforce has
4.52%
inflated by
dash point to
4.59% point to
60.47% in August.
60.47% in August. Formal
Formal
employees create up
employees create up
39.53% of the
39.53%
entire
of
workforce,
entire
down
workforce,
by
down by
4.59 percentage point.
4.59
Unemployment
percentage
lead
point.
to result
The
in
impact of
decreased
the
economic activity.
unemployment
Unemployment reduces the
lead
economic
to result in
process
decreased
and financial
economic
gain
activity
per capita.
in
Unemployment
Indonesia.
is also treated
The
because the
second
element is
impact
not
of
productive.
unemployment will reduce the economic process and financial giant per capita. Unemployment is also treated by because the element that's not productive.
Next is, in the effort to reduce unemployment, it's necessary to kind that the categories of job created in an economy match the abilities and expectation of the unemployed. An example, unemployment creation program that give below market wages would achieve success in reducing unemployment in a country whose employed exhibit the characteristics described within the preceding paragraph. In distinction, the program would attract those that are already working within the informal sector to switch jobs or discourage employees to enter the marketplace. Hence, while it's going to achieve success in increasing general welfare, the program would reduce the percentage. Unemployment in USA. The unemployment rate in the United States stood at 11.1% as of June, whereas this can be marked improvement from the 14.7% unemployment rate in April. It's still above at any time in at least the last 70 years. In some US cities, several of that are major economic hubs, the unemployment crisis is much worse than the nationwide. World History reviewed seasonally adjust unemployment rate from the Bureau of Labor Statistics at the metropolitan area level to spot the cities with the worst unemployment problem. Every of the 33 metro areas on this list has an unemployment rate over 15 August 1945. Battle Creek, Michigan is one among 23 U.S. metro areas where the unemployment rate stands at over 15 August 1945. At the start of the year, unemployment stood at just 3.9% in the southern Michigan metro areas. Since January, over 5,000 jobs have disappeared in the town. Chicago is one any major American economic hub and one among many Midwestern metro areas, wherever the unemployment rate currently stands at over 15 August 1945. In January 2020, before the result of the COVID-19 pandemic were felt in the US, Chicago's unemployment rate was simplified 3.50 3.5% over the months, and the town has generally 500,000 jobs. This is how USA overcome unemployment. The US added 1.8 million jobs in July as payroll growth stalled amid a split-screen economy that had employers stepping up hiring in a part of the country that continued to let business open up at the same time as COVID-19 spike was somewhat from even expect and lay off staff. The percentage fell to 10.2% from 11.1% in June. Economic survey by Bloomberg had estimated that 1.5 million jobs were at.
Hi, my name is Erna Shaputri binti Japar, and today I will present about impact of unemployment in India. Basically, unemployment can give bad effects towards individuals, society, and economy. So, the first point is loss of income and self-respect. A person who is employed for a long time may face financial problems and consequently lose their self-respect, and their family and friends will stay away from them. These situations lead to frustration, causing them to turn to alcohol or drugs. Plus, the longer the unemployment goes on, the more severe the health consequences will, with increased depression and other health issues will be worsening over time. Next point is loss of job skill. Unemployed person may lose their job skills due to long term of unemployed. Any skill that everyone has must always to be practiced because can make it more perfect. Next is low standard of living. There are many factors that can contribute to a low living standard including unemployment. Become unemployed can make a person cannot afford to achieve a standard of living and lack of social protection. Plus, as generally a person who unemployed definitely do not have salaries, and this situation make the needs in daily are hard to be fulfilled. Unfortunately, they will also feel hungry and must endure hunger. This action will cause to other health issues such as gastric. Lastly is impact towards economy. Unemployment that occurs in a country will have an impact on the economy such as reduced national output, lower living standard, and at the same time can slow down national development. With high employment can also increase the poverty rate in the country. So let's move on the solution for this problem. Firstly, government should motivate people to have small families. In India, the government has started initiatives to regulate the population, but still the population rate is rising. In addition, the government should set a minimum age of marriage so that the rising population can be controlled. Next point is the nature of Indian education framework should be improved. Since day of your education of Indian framework has been the envy of the world because of the current education system is not up to the extent. Next is government should support and build up the agriculture-based industry in rural areas. This action can make the rural people do not relocate to the urban areas. Provide education and training for people also one of the solutions for this problem. This aim is to offer the long-term unemployed new skills which empower them to search out positions in developing industry. For example, we train unemployed skilled workers to have essential IT skill and ability which assist them to discovering administration area. Last but not least is government should allow more foreign companies to open their unit in India so that more job opportunity will be available. This one of the best solution for India because unemployment problem can be overcome.
So for the conclusion is unemployment is a factor of economic indicator because it gives the ability of employees to get ready for obtaining functional work to grant productive effect of the economy. The major goal of a policymaker, either from economic policy or financial policy, is to obtain decent economic growth. So therefore, unemployment is a national occurrence with economic and social consequences. The worry of the typical economist was to make sure that the percentage of asset formation was remain highly sufficient to show that employment changes were successfully expand to the include the addition to the workforce of nation as an outcome of population expansion. A crucial to include the addition to the workforce of a nation as an outcome of population expansion as crucial reason accountable for slow growth of employment has been the application of capital intensive skills of manufacturing. So even in consumer products industry where different work intensive skills are accessible, another reason of employment convincing in the growth countries, for example, India is unequal distribution of land so that numerous agriculture households have no insufficient and try to land which is crucial capital or agriculture, manufacturing and employment. So that's all from us. Thank you.